Hey y'all. So I hope it can still hear because my Bluetooth was plugged up. But I'm just trying to make this real quick. So um I used to live over here, and the people who live in that house with that owl right there, I had a dream of what they were doing and what they did before they moved in there. And it's funny that they have an owl because the dream I had showed the witchcraft that they were doing, and that those are people who was actually watching us where we live. So I'm not trying to get the address on there. You guys don't know what street this is anyway. Um, there's the playground we used to live at. The church people who had got a backfire, they lived there. And this house right here, some at one night when I had awakened, I walked out of the house and I walked this way, and then all of a sudden that a guy, a Middle East native, not a Middle Eastern, Eastern Indian, came walking out at night. He followed close behind me and walked on this part of the street. I was walking, and I was walking with my son to go to the plaid pantry that's down the street from here. People who live here, y'all know where is how close it is. And he just walked out and he followed me, and I had pulled my knife out because I was like, what the fuck you think you doing? And that's when I woke up and I saw all kind of stuff happening around this area. um, and then there's a homeowner association dude who lives at the end, the last house down there. He gives me pedophile vibes, but he knew I lived in this area, but he used to always be watching me. And one time I came at night with a U-Haul truck parked right here. And then he was like, oh, so what are you doing? Are you moving in? Or he was trying to find out information about what was going on at our house over there. And I was like, what the hell what does it concern him for? And that's why I'm saying, like, so basically, to be quick, because I don't know how long I got for the storage on my phone before I changed the card, but I'm just trying to show, like, basically how when there's so-called nice neighborhoods, it'd be a lot of witchcraft going on in there. And how I know is because this house right here, the people who moved out, the Lindels, they moved out. That lady, she was watching me. I was sleeping in my car in the spirit realm. Her spirit looked dead, and she was like, she had big eyes, and she was like, she was running. And it's a lady who used to run all the time in the spirit realm. I was dreaming of her coming out the house. She was watching me in my sleep. I used to park right here in my Honda CRV and just sleep outside because I didn't want to go in the house with my family because I already was sensing all that stuff that was going on. And there was people that was all around this whole neighborhood. There's a few houses. There's two houses on this area. There used to be a cop that lived in that second house, Michael Van Rentegem, and he was a part of the gang stalking because he was off duty and tried to get us in trouble with my mom and dad when we were going to look for recyclable cans in the neighborhood around here. And I understand, but we was younger then, and we was looking for recyclable cans, and he was trying to act like we were looking for people's information, like going through the trash can, but the trash can is differentiated from the recycle, and we were going in the can that was differentiated from the trash, and it was a different color, so we knew that he was full of shit. And when he came to my parents' house, he put his state trooper hat back on. Oh, here comes 6-7. Anyways, the dude that was in that the old state trooper who used to live in this house, who moved out after I had exposed him to my parents, that I had said, that's his car, that's his wife, they be doing this, they be doing that, because I was watching the people who were watching us, and I always knew it. That's why this part of town, it was under heavy spell work, and it don't feel that way no more now. But I remember after when my grandma died that day on February 13th, it was the most beautiful day. It was kind of sunny like it is now, and then all of a sudden all these people were outside when she was being taken out on a gurney. And there was two what you call it, ambulance trucks that came this time. There's usually one, but there was two. One was parked off the other down the street, and the other one was right here, and they all were in there. And then I came in, my mom sent me to give my grandma her bag of stuff. It's like I intuitively felt that my grandma wasn't coming back, but she was foaming at her mouth when I went in there. Her eyes was rolling, and there was foam at her mouth, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? I was like, then they tried to wipe her mouth, and you hear that. I ain't heard an ice cream truck in a long time, and I haven't been out here in a while, but I just came to make this video real quick to show, like, the illusion of sometimes living inside of a allegedly nice or middle class neighborhood. There's a bunch of witchcraft that be going on. And when I woke up and I pointed out the houses that were witches, all of those people moved out, and even the people that's on the front street. uh, well, don't look at me, bro. Fuck you. Because y'all the niggas that was coming outside when my grandma had passed away. It's like it was a front row show. Like everybody had to see her be rolled out, and I kind of got irritated and pissed off about that because I'm like, everybody who was watching, it's almost like they knew that what was going on, what was happening. They was so fucking nosy, and all these people, I that's another thing. Fuck that. At the end of this street is the second house from that house right there. A bunch of police officers was lined up on that street, and that time I came to pick up my son, and I told my sister I was coming to pick my son up. All of us, when I came here, there was no police parked on that street, but then all of a sudden when I was leaving, he was backed up in the corner. That's how I knew somebody around here was having crooked cops follow me. And this is Southeast Alexander Street in Hillsboro, Oregon. So I had enough time to say that stuff really quick to show like the illusion of living in so-called nice neighborhoods where it's a lot of witchcraft. I had woke up and pinpointed every last house of the people that were doing witchcraft, and one lady down here, she knew, I won't show the street to maintain these people's privacy, but every house that has a witch at it, and there's even a couple in that second house over there that has a black man, but those black people, they don't fuck with other black people for some reason. I can kind of understand, but it feels like it's a different reason why. We grew up in this neighborhood. There was a park over there by a school. I won't say the name of the school because if I do, then you'll definitely know what area this is. And I'm trying to maintain some of these people's privacy around here, but I just wanted to show that how I came to pick up my son, but one time I remember walking outside, and you see how it's a bunch of cars lined up right here. It was all police officer cars right there. It was all police officer cars right there. All of them. All these cars was police officer cars, and the part where the police was parked at. Hold on, let 67 go real quick. Go ahead, 67. That's what he have on his license plate. Maybe you see I got my hazards on. Get on. So a police was backed up in that corner over there on the other side of those black iron little posts right there. And I found it strange that he came there after I decided to come here and pick up my son. And yeah, so anyways. It says 555 on the back of that license plate of the person who just sped out of here. But yeah, I just wanted to show that real quick. Don't be fooled just because the area looked like it's a so-called 888 on the back. And this is the second time today I'm seeing 888 on the license plate. But I just wanted to show that real quick because these motherfuckers is wicked ass bitches around this motherfucker. I remember I was walking down the street when me and my son was homeless still back into the 2022. 2022 was a rough year, and it carried over into 2023. 2023 is when I finally got work. I cleared up some stuff on my record so that I can get a job, and then started working. Then I bought this car, and then I maintained a job ever since then. I had 2 jobs at one point, but when I was getting my son back, I had to reduce to having 1 job because there wasn't enough. I didn't have anyone to watch my son, and that was too much time being taken up where I couldn't work both jobs anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to show, hold on, let me go around this mug. I was going to show that church, but that might be giving away too much information. But this church that my brother goes to down the street, he doesn't live around here anymore. He lives maybe 10, 15 minutes away. But this church, I almost wonder if they're a church coven too, because the pastor here, Pastor Rich, his daughter was sacrificed, and he used to look so sad. I used to see him walking in front of me. I'm like, damn, I feel bad for that man. He lost his daughter. She was stabbed up by somebody at a lease. She was working as a lease agent, and guess what? When I started working at a lease agent for GSL Properties at the Windhaven Apartments, there was a man who came in there to do the same thing to me and another woman, but the way I talked to him, it deterred him. He had his hand in his backpack. He was ready to do something. We could tell. She was like, oh my God. Deborah Thompson was like, oh my God. He was about to do something, but it looked like he changed his mind or something. And we saw what he was getting ready to do. He was about to do some sort of murder, but I don't even think she called the police on his ass. Them motherfuckers was probably in on it too, because Amy Monroe was the manager. And she had dark eyes. She was a demonic asshole. They conspired to get me fired because I did something that messed up their plan to keep a black woman from moving in the apartments. And I never even sued these people. I could have sued them and got money, but a lot of the times when certain things happen at jobs I worked at that I could have sued for, I never sued. So this is why I speaking out now, because y'all motherfuckers want to try to make shit hard for me, but I didn't never say nothing. I didn't speak out about motherfuckers taking money from my check. It was always some Caucasian raggedy ass 30 something year old or 40 plus year old Caucasian European bitch that was taking money out of my check, and then they thought they were going to get away with it, but spiritually I know they've been dealt with. One of the ladies named Daisy, and it was even a half-breed dude, a mixed man, who told me, he put them on the phone and let me hear what they were saying. That's how I know that they were doing some shit they ain't had no business doing at that temp agency. Money was taken. The other temp agency was Labor Works off Tiger, and they removed those women. They fired them, and I have a feeling at least one, if not two of them, were witches that went to go get somebody to come after me spiritually, to send spiritual attacks. But it's been reversed, so that's what y'all hoes get. And then I remember, so real quick, I just want to say, I just saw 1111 on there. I was walking down this street to come back to my dad's house, and all of a sudden, that's when I had my Bluetooth earpiece in my ear, and it started going off again. And that's what made me think and wonder if my dad has something to do with my electronics being hacked, because something about computer came out in a reading that they broke into my house and took my computer, which I already knew they were going to do that because it spiritually was revealed to me, but there was nothing I could do. It's a materialistic thing. They already got my phones that had way too much proof of organized gang stalking going on it. But anyways, when I started walking back towards this way, that's when all of a sudden my electronics start fucking up again. It was like power off, power on, power off, connected, disconnected. It was like saying shit like that. And it was effing me up. And I even told the dude that randomly popped up out of nowhere on the train, and he said, "How you doing, young lady?" And he was like, "My name's Romello." But then he showed me an ID that said Darnell Ross on it, and he told me all kind of information about me that was at least 3 years old prior. At that time when he told me back in 2022, he knew all kind of information about me, and I told him about what was going on with my electronics. He was like, "Oh, they really fucking with you." Then he went to gloat at the library downtown by 9th and Galleria, somewhere downtown Portland, where you get off the Max train. And he was making fun of me, told some they just making it hard for her out here. They don't want to give her a chance. But the way he was saying it, it's like he knew on the inside about what was going on against me, and he was a part of it. And from there, it just spiraled, like all kind of crazy gang stalking stuff happened. I got it on camera, and I managed to get at least one more picture after they stole my phones on my newer phone that DHS gave me. That when I took a picture of how they had a Target bag perfectly folded up and waiting right where I would go press the button to cross the street by the Barnes Road Portland St. Vincent Hospital. These motherfuckers is trifling out here, y'all. So I'm just filling y'all in to don't be fooled just because the area looks like a nice. Because to be honest with you, when these houses was getting built out here, me and my family, we didn't been in a lot of these houses because we were kids playing around in these motherfuckers before they was fully built. And one time I had stopped and looked inside of some of them just to see what the how it looked on the inside. Just we were playing around. We were much younger. So half of these places, and on the other side is some $500,000 homes over there. And I remember one time I won't go into detail. I want to keep this video short. But yeah, I wanted to remind you guys, don't be fooled by the looks of a neighborhood. See, they still building up around here too. They're not completely done. But over the past 10 years, they built up all of these different houses over here. All of these different houses. And a lot of witches have moved in, people who do sacrificial shit moved into this neighborhood. So that I'm basically saying this so you don't be fooled by the looks of a neighborhood. That's why I'm not fooled. Who would have ever guessed that my seemingly ratchet ghetto ass was over here? That's why these motherfuckers didn't want me over here. I was too real for their motherfucking ass. I wasn't taking no shit from nobody either. And I used to ride my bike up and through this motherfucker. Like, this was my territory. Not like that, but I'm very familiar. Since everywhere I ride my bike, it's like a map of those places are in my head because I was one with the road. I'm gonna be doing that again. because police don't really fuck with you when you're on your bike as much as they do when you're in a vehicle. And I have a baby carrier, so my son can come along with me, and I'll just bring the Bluetooth. But yeah, don't be fooled by neighborhoods that look like it's so rich and so elegant, because it ain't. And don't be surprised if some of the black people that move in that area are in with the other people and they're against you, even though y'all both are melanated people. They will betray you and side with the other people that are against your ass too, and don't even realize the people they siding with against their ass too. But they're all in an illusion. They just retarded.